Hello and a very warm good evening to all of you. एक बार फिर से आपका स्वागत है. It's going to be a festive week. Happy Diwali in advance to all of you from everybody here on Beyond the Boundary and TUI Sports. काफी कुछ है आज डिस्कस करने के लिए. काफी सारी बातें करनी है. What happened in Pune? Why it happened in Pune? क्या implications हो सकती हैं? The Border Gavaskar Trophy squad has also been announced. और उसके अलावा इंडिया टूर साउथ अफ्रीका उसका स्क्वाड भी अनाउंस हो चुका है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स एज ऑलवेज थोड़ा सा तड़का थोड़ा सा मसाला हम जरूर लेकर आएंगे फ्रॉम the IPL as well. Big deadline coming this week, October 31st, which is the IPL retention deadline. So without wasting any time, let's bring on our panelists. We have a full house today. Let's get our panelists on screen. First of all, K. Srinivas Rao making a return. I hope he's recovered sufficiently. Group sports editor. KSR, how are you?
I'm good. A little weak,
Yeah,
but
yeah, we can hear it from the voice, but hopefully you've recovered sufficiently to talk about cricket and talk a lot of cricket. साथ ही साथ ace reporters Sahil Malhotra and Gaurav Gupta are also joining us with their comments. How are you guys? Thanks for joining in. And let's take the first comment immediately. I think
We're good and
let's take the first comment as it is. Nimish Janeja with the breaking news that Eric Ten Hag has been sacked. I'm sure a lot of Manchester United fans in the house here as well. I would say Bald Ole has been sacked. Ruud van Nistelrooy, he's been appointed as the interim manager. That's enough football. We'll go back to cricket. Let's bring on the match summary. Let's bring on the match summary and talk about what has happened in Pune. अगर आपको याद हो, last week before the match, we had discussed that one bad session, and your home streak, your record from 2012, that is gone. और वही हुआ पुणे में. और सिर्फ एक bad session तो नहीं कहेंगे. We'll say 2 days of really poor batting. I mean, it was really horrific to watch. There didn't seem to be any game plan as to how you would counter spin. शायद एक ही गेम प्लान था कि अटैक करो, रुक कर नहीं खेलना था. Srini, let's start with your comments. What's happened in Pune and something which is very rare in India to see, a whitewash by the visiting team. What do you think? What's going to happen in Wankhede as well?
well, I don't know why we are being so generous. I didn't listen to Rohit's press conference, but I was reading a headline somewhere, something on the lines of he said our batting plans did not go the way we would have liked. I don't know. I couldn't read the exact this thing. Now, what immediately occurred to me was that when you're playing Test cricket at home, and that too at a venue like Pune, आपको कितना प्लान बनाना है, कितना उसको एग्जीक्यूट करना है और कितना दिमाग लगाना है. 5 दिन का टेस्ट मैच है. I'm just wondering, when I hear statements like these, that my plan did not work. You're not playing the first test in Cape Town. It's not the first test match of a series in Cape Town, or it's not like you're planning for a 5-test series in England that you're putting a plan in place. Yeah, you have to stand and you got to back yourself and you got to put those runs on board. If you are going to get out clean bowl to a full toss, and I'm sure you all have had enough discussions on it, if you're going to get bowled to a full toss, what plan are you talking about? I'm sure that wasn't part of your plan, playing a full toss. So I really, at times, so I guess it's part of the whole cricketing cycle. It's always like every 10 years, every 12 years, we've seen, there is a reflection of what the cycle has been, and also an indication that the time has come for the baton to pass. It's
Okay,
one of
no.
those instances. Sorry.
Yeah. See, no, I want to interject here. When you say ki it is something that happens after every 10, 12 years, I kind of disagree with that. And I think there is a comment
No,
from
no,
Rohit Sharma
I
in the
didn't
press
mean.
conference.
I didn't mean this low. This
Okay.
thing. what I meant was every team goes through is forced to go through its share of embarrassment. There comes a time when you're
Hmm.
forced to go through a share of embarrassment to realize that there is a change that is required.
Okay, let me first come to Gaurav Gupta. When Srini says there's a change that's needed, there's definitely some sort of change that is needed. Because a lot of people, Gaurav, are saying कि okay, you know what, Ashwin and Jadeja had an off series, this and that. But अगर आप culprit देखो, that has been our batting. एंड ये होम सीजन जो है, आप इस होम सीजन को देखो, आपका चेन्नई में यू हैड अ कोलैप्स where Ashwin and Jadeja rescued you. Then you had a collapse in Bengaluru. You had two collapses in Bengaluru. Second innings में भी collapse हुआ था. And now two collapses in Pune. So in 4 test matches, you had 5 batting collapses. Rohit Sharma, did I read this correctly or hear it correctly that he said in the press conference कि इतना तो चलता है, after 10 years you lose a home series. Do you think that is a valid comment for an Indian captain to make? Gaurav, uh, can we
Hello.
unmute
Yeah.
Gaurav?
Can you see me? Yeah. See, I don't agree.
एक second, I think Gaurav, you've been muted again. Can you repeat that, please? Gaurav,
Am I good to go now?
yeah, good to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
saying that
go ahead.
ये जो logic है कि इतना तो चलता है. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. I'm saying ये जो logic है ना रोहित शर्मा का कि ये इतना तो चलता है, 2 मैच हार गए, 3 मैच हार गए, कोई बात नहीं, दो बैड गेम्स. आई डोंट अग्री टू इट एंटायरली बिकॉज आई थिंक थोड़ा सा यहाँ पर मलाइज दिख रहा है टीम में, जो कि एक बैटिंग फेलियर है, जो कि कुछ टाइम से चल रहा है और ये बहुत टाइम से चल रहा है. और मुझे लगता है जो हरभजन ने बोला है ना, वो बात हमें बहुत सीरियसली लेनी चाहिए कि हम जो कुछ साल से विकेट बना रहे हैं, वो हम बहुत ज्यादा रैंक टर्नर्स बना रहे हैं for Ashwin and Jadeja to excel, and that has resulted in our top order failing badly, and it has cost us a batsman like Ajinkya Rahane. पुजारा भी उसी वजह से बाहर गए मुझे लगता है टीम से. वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट विकेट्स थे. वहीं पर रोहित तो फिर भी निकल गए कुछ हंड्रेड्स मारकर. आई थिंक विराट का वहाँ कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत खराब हुआ. लेकिन ये खैर विराट की कैप्टनसी में ही ये चीज स्टार्ट हुई, एक तरीके से धोनी कैप्टनसी स्टार्ट हुई. तो आई थिंक this kind of a loss is not acceptable purely because you were supposed to beat New Zealand handsomely before you went for BGT, and you were supposed to book your ticket for WTC final, which is now almost out of the equation क्योंकि आपको अगले 6 में से 4 मैच जीतने हैं. तो ये कहना यार थोड़ा सा फैंस के साथ में ना थोड़ा सा इनजस्टिस है कि ये तो चलता है, ये हार तो चलती है, इतना तो होता है. आई डोंट थिंक सो यार entirely. You have raised the expectations and he himself said that कि आपने इतना घर में जीता है कि आपने वो एक्सपेक्टेशंस हमारी बढ़ा दी हैं, और वो उन एक्सपेक्टेशंस के वहां से फिर आप इतनी बुरी तरह हार रहे हैं न्यूजीलैंड टीम से, जो कि बिना केन विलियमसन और ट्रेंट बोल्ट के है. तो दैट इज अ बिट quite disappointing. And Michelle Santner, I'm sure, is not he's not a Shane Warne for you to surrender your wickets to him so tamely. I mean, आप full toss पे out हुए at the end of the day. It's not like he produced a Jaffa absolute beauty, turning out from outside the leg stump and hitting the off stump. So it's
No,
all
I
a bit
think
disappointing. I think the attitude and everything all put together. And serious questions need to be asked about the future of this team going forward. It needs an immediate transition, as I keep saying.
okay, let's before you go to Mitchell Santner, because I thought Mitchell Santner bowled really well in terms of the way he used the pace of the ball. अगर आप देखो, और मुझे ना इस टेस्ट मैच ने याद दिलाया 2012, और मैंने ट्वीट भी किया था 2012 में, when Ashwin was part of that spin attack, and I think it was Harbhajan Singh and Pragyan Ocha, if I'm not mistaken,
England
Wankhede
series.
test match.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, 2012.
Yeah,
I think
England
it was those three, and then
Yeah.
Graham Swan and Monty Panesar at the other end. Now, I remember that particular test match because on that Wankhede pitch, Harbhajan, Ashwin, and Pragyan Ocha did not use the pace of this pitch well enough. You were bowling more quicker. आप ज़्यादा उस पे pace डाल रहे थे spin generate करने के लिए, whereas Graham Swan and Monty Panesar were bowling slower and they were using the pace of the pitch. और यहाँ पर भी I think it was something similar where अगर आप average pace देखो हमारे Indian spinners की, Ashwin Sundar and Jadeja, I don't know why I said Gill, Ashwin Sundar and Jadeja, अगर आप उन spinners की pace देखोगे, average pace was somewhere between 92 to 95. In the first innings, Jadeja was actually bowling higher than 95. और यहीं पे आप अगर मिचेल सैंटनर और आजाज पटेल और ग्लेन फिलिप्स की पेस देखोगे, Their average pace was 85 to 92. In the second innings, Santner did not bowl above 90. तो आप अपनी जो पेस है स्पिन की वो बेटर यूज कर रहे हो, आप पिच को सरफेस को बेटर यूज कर रहे हो. सैंटनर सेड इन द post match presentation that I only was landing the ball on one spot and I was trying to use the variation of pace to bamboozle the batters. And that means, as simple as that, जो ओम प्रकाश कह रहे हैं, that our team has been simply outplayed by New Zealand in every department. Sahil, let's bring in your comment here. Outplayed by New Zealand in every department. The likes of Virat Kohli not scoring runs, the likes of KL Rahul not scoring runs, Rohit Sharma not scoring runs. Something has majorly gone wrong with the Indian team.
Chetan, the last time it happened, it was in Indore, where we expected India to kind of run over Australia, and Rohit Sharma at the pre-match press conference was already talking about the WTC final and probably getting Shardul Thakur into the scheme of things. I think something similar has happened in this series as well. They were looking too far ahead. Back of the mind, WTC final was playing. BGT इनके दिमाग में चल रहा था. जिस तरीके के reserve bowlers लेकर गए थे, BGT was clearly on their mind, and that is why they became complacent. That's how I look at it. That is what happened at the minefield in Indore, and something similar has happened in Pune. Matlab, clearly their mind was somewhere else, and batting is not something which is not clicking like for one series, two series, three series. It has been happening for the last 4-5 years now, yaar. मतलब वो आप pitch कहो, their preparation कहो, method against spin bolo. They tried different things in this test, but the only one who could walk the talk was Yashasvi Jaiswal, right? They just don't have that game, right? On rank turners कि आप sweep खेलो, reverse sweep खेलो, you step out of the attack. आप wicket पे खड़े होके खेल रहे हो, सैंटनर को back foot पे इस track पे खेल रहे हो, फिर विराट कोहली knee roll के नीचे बॉल खा रहा है, review ले रहा है और expression ऐसा दे रहा है कि अरे यार ये तो मैं undone हो गया umpires call से. How can you go so deep into your crease on a track like this, yaar? These are basics. Okay. And New Zealand.
Yeah, basics. Let's talk about those. Yeah, let's talk about that. Like Om Prakash is saying, they thought New Zealand to be that tough, they became complacent, and New Zealand pounced at that opportunity. यहाँ पर एक बात जरूर कर लेते हैं कि New Zealand जो cricketers हैं, I mean, they fly under the radar. They fly under the radar. Nobody gives them an opportunity, and then they become, okay, you know what, we're going to show you. And I think Tom Latham ने बहुत अच्छी team बनाई है. This could be a really serious New Zealand side in the coming years. Everybody talks about transition this, transition that, but they have done something which very few teams have managed to do. They've overcome India in India. This has been the toughest test assignment there is. Toughest assignment in test cricket there is, to come and win a series in India. और बहुत आसानी से करके दिखाया है. जो यहाँ पर साहिल ने कहा है, श्रीनी, to what extent do you agree with that? Is it just because कि आप बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी पे ध्यान लगा के बैठे हुए हो, you're not paying attention to New Zealand at all, or is there a deeper malaise when you talk about batting in general for India?
No, I mean, see, as Sahil just mentioned, this batting struggle is not obviously, it's not overnight. It's just that it's touched a new low. With you losing a series at home and and getting out to the kind of scores that you're doing. The fact that your batting has been a struggling point, I think that's been the story of Indian cricket for a while now. Why? Obviously, it's not for the first time that we are talking about the reasons either. For realms that we discussed in terms of whether this team is capable of playing quality spin, and then one argument leading to the other, where you prepare the kind of tracks that you do at home, and then you ask yourself this question: are you really capable of withstanding those tracks or by your own self? That's not the point. Okay, I mean, the overall struggle is part of the script that we've been noticing or witnessing for a while now. What I've been trying to say is that this, every time that a scenario like this happens, it's an indicator. It's an indicator that now is the time to act. An Indian team, you mentioned Latham, and you mentioned the kind of team that they're putting in place, and kind of just taking that cue forward. When does India get a message like that? When does India ever sit up to a message like that? So if you go to see, it's been it's been out there. The history tells us that we in Indian cricket tend to take things a little more seriously when things begin to hit the fan, proverbially. So I look at it that way. The struggle was already there. The malaise that had set in India's batting standards was already there. Something had to tell us that, listen, time is now come to take some action, about do something about it. I think this is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's come at a time when you're just about to embark for on what is probably the most important series. Now, can you do anything about it right now? You can't. You are just about to fly out of the country to play what is perhaps the most important series, and you already know. I mean, even if you ask me, if I were to advocate a completely different side, no, I would not. So I guess you could just go to move on. You really can't do anything about it. But when you come back, you know that a cycle is just about coming. It's turning.
Okay,
I don't know.
वो is absolutely right कि आप अभी इस टाइम पे ऐसा कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो कि आप एकदम से immediate changes कर सको. अगर आप बैंगलोर टेस्ट मैच के बारे में बात करें, you lost there and then they decided to make those immediate changes. They brought in Washington Sundar to the squad. That worked to a very large extent. That worked. उसने 11 विकेट ली, उसने थोड़े बहुत रन भी बना लिए. उससे ज्यादा वो क्या करेगा? 11 विकेट ले लिए, 7-4 ले लिया. नेक्स्ट इनिंग्स में उसने 4-4 ले लिया. इससे ज्यादा वो क्या करेगा? Now you have to look ahead to the BGT. You have to look at the squad. हम उस squad के बारे में बात करेंगे. लेकिन यहाँ पर let's take Kuldeep's comment. He says can't blame Jadeja and Ashwin for the loss in the series. They are the reason for India's victories in India, be it with the bat or ball. और काफी times से हम ये देख रहे हैं Sahil that we've been seeing contributions from the lower order, a lot of contributions from the lower order, not as much from the top order, and that has been one of the key reasons where India's batting has really failed to deliver from time and time again. So from that perspective, are we saying कि नहीं, हम अपने top order का हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते हैं just because an Australian series is on the horizon? Is that what we are saying? Can we not do anything about it?
No, we clearly can't, right? We are not a country, we are not a cricket board which is kind of known for taking those tough and big calls. We do the convenient thing, we do the easier thing. The easiest thing to kickstart that so-called transition was to kick Pujara and Rane out of the setup. So we always do the convenient things. We'll continue to ignore the fact that Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, they have been struggling at home against spin. यार इनका hundreds कैसे tracks पे आ रहा है, कैसे situation में आ रहा है, all those things need to be taken into account. On what basis is KL Rahul going to Australia? For what joy? He averages 20 in Australia. His test average is 35. 30-30-year-old को आप अभी भी प्रॉमिस पोटेंशियल टैलेंट पे खिला रहे हो. बॉस नहीं, आप किसी सरफराज को या किसी डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर को या रिक्की भुई को डाल दो अगर प्रॉमिस पोटेंशियल टैलेंट पे खिलाना है. हो गया केएल राहुल का 20 की एवरेज है उसका. कौन सी कंट्री के अंदर? पाकिस्तान भी लेके नहीं जाती अगर केएल राहुल पाकिस्तान से खेल रहा होता. पाकिस्तान वुड हैव ड्रॉप्ड केएल राहुल बाय नाउ. मतलब वहां भी जगह नहीं मिलता टेस्ट स्क्वाड के अंदर. यहाँ पे 20 एवरेज है आपका.
See, look, let's not go to KL Rahul. Let's not go to KL Rahul. The guy
I'm just saying the fact that we just don't have the spine enough to kind of address these issues, because we'll wait for things to happen on their own. We won't do anything else. Whether that's with regards to Virat, Rohit, Ashwin, Jadeja, हम wait करेंगे.
No. See, why I'm saying this is because हमें यहाँ पर ये तो consider करना ही होगा ना, because there has been a lot of idol worship. Let's be very honest about this. There has been a lot of idol worship and the numbers are not reflecting that. Let's हमने ये भी हमने देखा क्या
चेतन very quickly. अभी हम उस इंसान का बात करते हैं जो जब तक कोच नहीं था उसने पूरा एकदम बाहर झंडा गाड़ रखा था, एकदम पेट्रियोटिक, एकदम like country first attitude and all those things. First thing he does when he takes one thing very quickly. One thing which he does when he takes over as the coach of the Indian cricket team, he's asked whether Rohit and Virat will play till 2027 ODI World Cup. What does he say? He says, yes, I would love to have them if they remain fit. What are we saying यार? आप इन दोनों को 2027 ODI World Cup खिलाओगे, बाकी क्या करेंगे? मतलब वो श्रीजी का कमेंट याद आता है. The person who played the inaugural T20 World Cup, yes, he won the World Cup for you, but that doesn't justify the fact that you kept playing that person for 17 years in the T20 squad. 17 years का रोप दे दिया आपने. क्या मजाक हो रहा है क्या? इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम है भाई, नमीबिया नहीं है कि लड़के नहीं है यहाँ पे खेलने के लिए. So that's what is frustrating, right? We just don't take the calls which are required.
Okay, यहाँ पर हमने कुछ stats तैयार की हैं. Let's talk about those stats because I think this is a very valid point कि Accountability kahan hai? You're talking about players who haven't played domestic cricket, who don't want to play domestic cricket, who don't want to play Duleep Trophy. हमने ये कितनी बार डिस्कस किया है कि यहाँ पर the likes of Virat and Rohit and Shubman Gill and everybody who skipped the Duleep Trophy went and played in Sri Lanka. आपको शायद उसकी जरूरत नहीं थी. ठीक है, मान लिया आपने टीम बॉन्डिंग सेशन करना है कि गौतम गंभीर was taking over as coach. That was his first assignment as coach. So you wanted the whole squad, you wanted the biggies, you wanted the stars, you wanted everybody there. But then at the same time, you have to give the importance to red ball cricket. The likes of Rohit, the likes of Virat, who have not played red ball cricket for a while, they could have come and played Duleep Trophy. अगर आप एक गेम भी खेल लेते, you would have gotten into that mind frame. Let us put on those statistics. Do we have those statistics? Let's look at what has Virat Kohli done in tests in the last 5 years. Let's take a look at what Rohit Sharma has done. Let's also take a look at what Shubman Gill has done at number 3. Here we go. 2011 to 2024. Now, why this is important is there was a time when Virat Kohli was averaging over 50 in test cricket. You take out your calculators, an average drop from 50 to 48. That is a massive drop off. Virat Kohli, 2019 to 2024, an average of 33. Now, I want to make this point here. When Sourav Ganguly was dropped from the Indian Test team, he was averaging more than 33. जब ग्रेग चैपल ने उनको टेस्ट टीम से ड्रॉप किया था, एज अ कैप्टन ड्रॉप किया था, he was averaging more than 33. और इस 33 में जो हम हंड्रेड्स देख रहे हैं, they've come against West Indies, they've come on a very flat track in Ahmedabad. The runs, let's be honest about it for once, the runs haven't come from Virat Kohli's bat. I want to get your thoughts, Gaurav Gupta and then K. Srinivas Rao. एक सेकंड गौरव, यू आर अगेन म्यूटेड. या गो अहेड.
या आई एम सेइंग दैट ये जो ड्रॉप इन फॉर्म था विराट का, ये डेफिनेटली 2019 से स्टार्ट हुआ और पोस्ट को आई थिंक वंस कोविड बिगन इट वाज very evident to see, he was not the same batsman that he was till 2019, and it just kept on getting worse. And I would blame our previous coach Rahul Dravid to an extent, because he should have sort of given him a bit of a break and allowed some youngsters, drafted in some youngsters into the side, and at the same time जब वो इंग्लैंड सीरीज उन्होंने मिस करी, तो आई थिंक उधर ज्यादा अकाउंटेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए थी कि भाई अगर आपका फैमिली इशू भी है, यू आर हैविंग अ बेबी एंड ऑल दैट, आप 5 टेस्ट मैच मिस कर रहे हैं यार. आई डोंट थिंक दैट वाज justified, and then on top of that he doesn't even come and play in the Duleep Trophy match. चलो वो तो तब तक द्रविड़ निकल गए थे, लेकिन I thought he was not managed properly. That transition was not managed properly by Rahul Dravid. He was targeting the soft players, the Ridhiman Sahas, the Ishan Sahas, the Ishan Sharmas and the likes. But perhaps अगर शायद यही मैनेजमेंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ उन्होंने रोड मैप बनाया होता कि हम विराट कोहली के को भी ये जो है वो थोड़ा सा उनको जो है वो देते हैं कि भाई चेताते हैं कि आप रन बनाइए, प्लीज गेट बैक इनटू फॉर्म, गेट बैक इनटू स्कोरिंग रेस. दैट डिड नॉट अनफॉर्चुनेटली इन वाइट बॉल इट हैपेंड. ही हैड अ ग्रेट T20 World Cup and a great ODI World Cup. But this red ball form had been dipping for quite a while, and I think Rahul Dravid didn't want to sort of, get into that zone where he could have a word with Virat ki, what are your plans when it comes to test match cricket? You're missing this series against England. Before that also, you were not in great form. What makes you miss all the 5 test matches? And then I thought when the BCCI secretary Jay Shah came to our office in Times of India, I had asked him specifically कि विराट और रोहित क्यों नहीं खेल रहे हैं जय भाई ये दुलीप ट्रॉफी का मैच. एंड ही वाज लाइक कि आपको उनके कमिटमेंट पे शक है क्या? अरे भाई कमिटमेंट पे शक नहीं है, लेकिन क्रिकेट एक इस तरह का गेम है, यू गॉट टू बी इन द ग्रुप. ही इज नाउ इन इंग्लैंड, he flies down for these matches, plays for India and goes back. I think that's not going to work. He's got to be more a part of the system and also play turnout for domestic cricket, which all our greats have done. Kapil Dev did, Gavaskar sir did, and all the others, all the other legends did. Sachin Tendulkar, जो मैं पहले बोल चुका हूँ, मतलब वो 1-2 दिन पहले आ जाते थे मैच के, and used to be the first at the ground. So I think that kind of commitment we need from Virat, also for Delhi and for the other North Zone, or perhaps for the Irani Cup matches and all that. Because as Dilip Vengsarkar sir also told me recently, I've done a story that if we need to become better players of spin bowling, we need to play our top guys to play domestic cricket, because that is where थोड़े बहुत spinners होते हैं जो अच्छे होते हैं, and that will also help those spinners improve. So overall विराट की जो फॉर्म है, इसका रीजन ये भी रहा ऑब्वियसली कि 18 हमने बनाया, इस तरह के विकेट्स बनाए, but definitely that form was not addressed at the right time. dip in
Okay,
form.
before we move on to what Srini and Sahil might have to say and what Rohit Sharma's and Shubman Gill statistics look like, एक comment है जो दिनेश कार्तिक ने दिया है and he's given it to CricBuzz, which is a subsidiary of Times Group. Let's have that comment where Dinesh Karthik tells Virat Kohli, and let's be honest, Virat Kohli and Dinesh Karthik are good friends, and I think Dinesh Karthik is a voice that Virat Kohli likes and he understands and he respects. What he needs to do is probably go back to domestic cricket. There is no doubt that left arm spinners pose a big threat. 3 of the 4 innings he has disappointed. It is a recurring pattern. He needs to figure out what he needs to do. Virat is a man searching for answers. India likes to play on pitches that aid spin. What is Virat Kohli's game plan here? I think this is a very, very vital quote. Dekho, yes, India has been playing on pitch friendly wickets. आप अगर बात कर रहे हो 2011 से लेके 2016 तक इंडिया ने बहुत बैटर फ्रेंडली विकेट्स पे खेला है. देयर वाज अ प्रॉपर कहते हैं ना एक ब्लूप्रिंट था. आप जिन विकेट्स पे खेल रहे हो, बड़े रन बना रहे हो, विकेटें ले रहे हो, अश्विन एंड जडेजा would spin you. But as we moved on from 2016 2017, this trend became कि आपको बहुत spin friendly wickets पे खेलना है. I think this is a big question here. If India is continuing to play on spin friendly pitches, what is Virat Kohli's game plan? Is it just to show up at test matches and play? That might not work. That has not worked. Srini, what are your thoughts on this?
Too late to be discussing domestic cricket and what Virat should be doing, whether he should be playing Ranji. I mean, we're talking about the team is now getting ready to go to Australia. अब तो ये वाला टाइम है बोलने का कि हाँ भाई इंडिया के सबसे बड़े बैट्समैन आप ही हो, आप जाओ और वहां रन बना लो. आप क्या मतलब यू ऑलरेडी पुट ऑल योर एग्स इन द
Absolutely.
basket. The
Go
team
ahead,
is
go ahead.
about
Yeah, go ahead.
and there's no point discussing any of this. I don't know for which season Dinesh Karthik was mentioning when he said domestic cricket. Maybe he said after he retires he needs to probably go to play domestic cricket. Because वो इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट खेलते हुए तो ये चीज हो नहीं रहा है. वो हम कब से डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, हम ये बहुत बहुत पहले से डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. द नीड फॉर विराट टू गो एंड प्ले रणजी ट्रॉफी, द नीड टू फाइंड हिज स्क्वायर वन, द नीड फॉर हिम टू play first class cricket in order to get back among runs. We've discussed this since eternity, and it's never happened. Season after season there have been sorry, come again.
No, see, I agree with what you're saying. In terms of Australia tour, it is very late. The question here is of
आप वहां से
accountability.
वापस आओगे चेतन, by the time you come back you're going to start getting up. You'll have a month at max, then you go back to join your franchise, your IPL season begins. By the time that gets over, the time for to tour England is here, which made obviously the WTC if you've made it. So where is the time to discuss? You need, where is the breathing space? That is where when Gaurav was mentioning Rahul Dravid and whether Rahul Dravid did he miss the bus in terms of putting a line of thought in play, a thought process in place. I'm sure he did, because Rahul Dravid had all the authority, all the command, and the right reasons to take these calls. That there was a need of some kind of fresh blood required in the Indian team, while there were seniors who were struggling, could have gone back to do something in domestic cricket, spend some time alone. Rahul Dravid can come and very loudly and very proudly give statements about cricketers like Ishan Kishan, right? क्या बोला था उसने कि
Ishan has to go back
He
and play
needs to go back
domestic
to play domestic cricket to be considered for India selection again. That is what he had said after
आप
the
एक
Dharamshala Test match, if I
आप
remember
एक
correctly.
बच्चे को पकड़ते हो, आप एक भी, मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ ईशान ने जो किया होगा सही किया होगा गलत किया होगा, आई
हाँ.
डोंट इवन नो द एग्जैक्ट रीजन. आप बच्चे को पकड़ते हो, you can be more private about a 22-24-year-old kid, but no, what encourages you as the coach of this Indian team to come and be so vocal about a 24-year-old kid, but kind of be all silent when it comes to speaking about the real issues. And the real issue here is the fact that you couldn't act on a struggling test team. Your very first series to South Africa, the moment you joined, gave you enough indications of what was wrong, what was festering. And from there on till the time you left, thankfully it ended all on a high for him, with that World Cup win. but it really doesn't cover up real issues that needed to be looked into. And
Okay.
if today we
No,
are
fair
going
enough.
to struggle, it is
Okay.
going to happen for lack of a
Chetan,
plan.
just adding a line on what Srini was
Yeah.
mentioning about and what Gigi mentioned about Ishan Kishan. The beauty about the Ishan Kishan episode is the fact that he was asked to play domestic cricket when he was not supposed to. You only play domestic cricket when you're injured. Ishan wasn't injured. The poor boy just requested for a break because he was done sitting on the bench. They told him, okay, you take a break, but if you have to come back to the team, you have to play domestic cricket. अरे वो injured थोड़ी था, वो drop थोड़ी हुआ था, उसने तो break मांगा यार. विराट कोहली को आपने 5 टेस्ट के ब्रेक के बाद बोला था कि आके आप पहले डोमेस्टिक खेलो. वो तो आईपीएल टीम,
Absolutely.
आपने आईपीएल
which is
टीम
why
तो उसको टाइम
which
पे
is why
ज्वाइन
the
करा
question
दिया
is
था.
there which is why the question is there कि कहीं ना कहीं तो यार आपको accountability थोड़ी सी तो लेके आनी पड़ेगी. It's a
हाँ, आप
let's be
बहुत
very honest, you know.
थोड़ी
let's
नहीं,
see
थोड़ी
pride
क्यों?
of
बहुत ज्यादा अकाउंटेबिलिटी चाहिए भाई, थोड़ी.
कहीं ना कहीं तो accountability चाहिए. We have just lost a home series 2-0. There's
एंड
a
चेतन
prospect of
पता है
losing
इसमें
3 matches. That's
व्हाई आई एम
quite
डूइंग दैट.
embarrassing. Come on.
पीपल विल स्टार्ट ट्रोलिंग एंड सेइंग कि अरे आईपीएल और टेस्ट क्रिकेट को एक उसमें बात क्यों कर रहा है. मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ बात, क्योंकि जितना पैसा इस टाइम एक टेस्ट क्रिकेटर को मिल रहा है ना, वो आईपीएल का 10-11 करोड़ रुपए का सैलरी बॉल पार्क हो रहा है. टेस्ट क्रिकेट में अब उतना पैसा आ गया
True.
नई इंसेंटिव स्कीम के साथ. सो पीपल आर प्लेइंग
Okay.
5-6-7 टेस्ट इन अ ईयर, दे आर प्रॉब्ली मेकिंग 10 करोड़ यार. 10 करोड़ खेल के आपने
Okay.
इसको क्या अपने घर
Let's not
का
go. Yeah.
अखाड़ा बना दिया.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. यहाँ पे मैंने इसीलिए let's why I'm taking this क्योंकि एक पोस्टमार्टम करना बनता है कि what has happened in Pune. ठीक है, it might not have that much impact on BGT. I think it will have a lot of impact on BGT. But एक you know, you have to do a bit of a postmortem what has really happened. Now let's take यही यहाँ पे that is the question mark here. India is going to play on spin friendly pitches at home. We our next test at home is next year. But at the same time, are we looking at retaining the likes of Virat and Rohit and to an extent Shubman Gill as well? We'll come to Rohit and Shubman Gill in just a bit. Let's take a look at the stats. जहां पे left arm spin has troubled Indian batters and they have troubled them very very consistently क्योंकि एक ये जो myth है ना कि India bats very well against spin, इस myth की भी हमें धज्जियां उड़ानी पड़ेंगी. Where is this myth coming from? Let's have that stat. आप 2014 से देख लो. And I've been on a few of those tours. Moeen Ali, Rangana Herath, Steve O'Keefe came to India and spun it out. Graham Swan, 2012 onwards, he set this whole motion in, you know, whole thing in motion. This is it. Shakib Al Hasan, Mitchell Santner, Tom Hartley, Jack Leach, Ajaz Patel, 21 wickets. Yeah, come on. Daniel Vettori, that was a long time back. Steve O'Keefe came, and this is a list of India's inability to play spin. It says last 2 decades, but half of them have taken wickets against India in this decade alone. So there is a problem with spin. अब यहाँ पे हमने सिर्फ लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स का दिया है. वी हैवंट टेकन ऑफ स्पिनर्स. मोइन अली 2 टूर 2014 2018 2 tours he troubled India like crazy. You go to Australia, Nathan Lyon has troubled India like crazy. So we are not probably going to see any left arm spinner in Australia, but we are going to see Nathan Lyon. And Nathan Lyon is going to trouble the Indian team come what may. खास करके इस
Todd
अवतार में
Murphy,
जहां पे
लास्ट
कर रहे हो.
बीजीटी, पूनमन लास्ट बीजीटी जो अपनी कंट्री में भी नहीं खेलते.
Exactly.
शोएब बशीर लास्ट इंडिया इंग्लैंड सीरीज. सो मतलब जिसका हल्का सा
And this
उंगली
is
पे
where,
कंट्रोल है वो हमें
okay,
ट्रबल कर देगा.
and this is where let's bring in the statistics for Rohit Sharma and also let's bring in the statistics for Shubman Gill. First, let's look at Rohit Sharma. हमने बात की थी फ्राइडे को जब वो बोल्ड हुए थे कि is there something worrying over there? हम बात कर रहे हैं अगर विराट कोहली की ड्रॉप ऑफ एवरेज फ्रॉम 50 54 to 48, then there is also a drop here for Rohit Sharma, 42 to 38. 42 to 38, but he's still gotten few more runs than Virat Kohli in comparison. Opening never an easy job as compared to batting in the middle order. Let's be honest about that as well. But आपकी 2 centuries थी इंग्लैंड वाली सीरीज में. In the last 4 test matches, you have 1 half century. Not the best preparation going into Border Gavaskar Trophy. Sahil, as we discussed, he's an all-format player, and sometimes we get carried away with the way he bats across formats. अगर आप सिर्फ टेस्ट क्रिकेट की बात करो, there is some worrying bit about his batting at the moment.
है ना, बिल्कुल है यार. मतलब अभी worrying bit, it starts from Rohit, goes to Gill, then Virat at 4, then number 5. Okay, Rishabh gives me hope, but I'm always on the edge even when Rishabh is batting. So I don't know यार. मतलब you're talking about Australia. You're talking about a hungry Australian side who have been like well rested for a couple of months just to eat you up, and you are going there losing 2 games on the trot to New Zealand. A New Zealand side, you expected everyone कि हम ये आएंगे और हम इनको we'll just them bulldoze over them. But 2-0 down, I don't think how it's sitting with that dressing room. You're 2-0 down to New Zealand in India. Santner,
I agree. I don't know.
Santner,
Yeah.
मतलब सैंटर इतना टेस्ट क्रिकेट क्या फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट भी नहीं खेले, पहला 10 विकेट हॉल फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट में पुणे में आकर बनाया. अब क्या कर रहे हो यार, मतलब क्या, मतलब इतना मजाक मत करो टेस्ट क्रिकेट के साथ, बिल्कुल मत करो.
You know, this comment from Harish, Sidhu, such a
And
Ganguly
Chetan,
Dravid batsman नहीं है.
मैंने कल I was reading something and I was listening to a podcast. I don't know what podcast I was listening to, but very valid point there है. ध्रुव जुरेल ने क्या गलती किया कि वो एज अ स्पेशलिस्ट बैटर नहीं खेल सकता? The 90 which he scored in that Ranchi test, if I'm not wrong, backs to the wall, ball turning here and there. थोड़ा टेम्परामेंट को इज्जत दो यार, जो लोग अच्छा कर रहे हैं. टैलेंट, प्रॉमिस, पोटेंशियल पे स्टेट का अंडर 16 का टीम बनता है, इंडिया का टेस्ट क्रिकेट का टीम बनता.
Let's take that word potential. Let's bring on Shubman Gill's record here as well, because that is going to be very vital. क्यों मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि हम Srini is saying कि BGT is on the horizon, we can't do anything about it, we can't have any accountability, this, then that. Okay, fine. Let's look forward to BGT. Who was one of the main constructs for India winning the last 2 BGTs? Cheteshwar Pujara at number 3. The runs he scored, the body blow. I mean, Pat Cummins का मैंने पीछे podcast देखा था. He said it's a disappointment that Cheteshwar Pujara is not coming. मैं तो ये कहूँगा Pat Cummins ने relief महसूस किया होगा कि अरे भाई चलो एक इतना बड़ा player नहीं आ रहा है इनका. Look at Shubman Gill. The top stat is where I want to look at. Batting at number 3. 41, that average. Half of that has come while batting against England at home. Overall, अगर आप span देखो, Shubman Gill in Test cricket, average of 36, is that good enough? For a number 3 batter, at averaging 36 after 28 Test matches. Let's get thoughts from Gaurav and then Srini as well.
I think when it comes to Shubman Gill, ना उनके father ने एक statement दिया था during the Dharamshala test, if I remember correctly, that
Yes.
I'm not too happy with my son batting at the number 3 slot. I would rather have him opening again. और number 3 पे उन्होंने थोड़ा सा struggle किया. I thought he was more in free, batting much freely when he was opening the innings. तो थोड़ा सा मुझे लगता है वहाँ गड़बड़ हुई, but then again there was no option because they had to phase out Pujara, and I think that's why he was asked to bat at 3. Because and Yashasvi Jaiswal को blood करना था, and obviously Yashasvi came good. So थोड़ा सा I think वो batting slot जो उनका हिला है वहाँ पे उससे थोड़ा फर्क पड़ा है. But having said that, I think Gill has by and large disappointed for the talent he has, in red ball cricket. His numbers haven't been great. Having said that, if
We seem to have lost Gaurav. Srini, do you want to make
Chetan,
a comment
I'll just complete with that what Gigi said, just one half a line. Shubman Gill himself asked for number 3, and that's why when the results aren't coming and the father is clearly not happy. So Australia tour के बाद you also need to revisit the fact who is going to be a number 3 option, because we did discuss that पहले जब हम श्रीनी और आप बात किया करते थे पहले कि Gill is probably a number 4 going forward when Virat phases out of Test cricket. So अभी 3 तक how long can you persist with them, and then अभी आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया में आंख रखा हुआ है, मेरा आंख ऑलरेडी इंग्लैंड पे है, वहां पे तो करियर्स विल बी ऑन द लाइन यार. अरे मैं तो करियर ऑन द लाइन देख रहा हूं, कितनों के पुतले खड़े हो जाएंगे.
So are you saying no? Look, we are talking about accountability today. Are you saying we lose in Australia and we are going to England with the same batting lineup? Come on, no. Let's bring on the BGT squad, because
I think so.
No, yaar, come on. Let's bring on the BGT squad. Srini, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
One thing at a time. But let's not jump the gun here. हम यहाँ कल क्या करने वाले हैं हमको पता नहीं है. अब आपकी टीम अनाउंस हो गई है, अब आपको ऑस्ट्रेलिया ये टीम लेके जाना है. इंग्लैंड की आप बात मत करो, पहले तो आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया का जो पड़ाव है उसको आप सामने रखो अपने. आप शुभमन गिल की बात कर रहे हो. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, I'm sure his father, I hope his father repented after giving the statement that he did, because parents, sisters, brothers, chacha, chachi, nana, nani have no place, in terms of आप देखिए मैच. आप जब आपका बच्चा जब घर आए आप तो आप उसको बोलिए क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आप. public comments mat kijiye, please. It doesn't augur well for the cricketer. Now, having said that, uh, you really can't. The cast is set now. You really can't do anything.
Okay.
You're talking about
Okay.
Shubman Gill's form. Yes, Shubman Gill has obviously punched below his weight. There is a lot more that I would have gone on to expect from a batter of his caliber, from the kind of promise that he showed me. There have been, especially playing at home, there have been dismissals which I've seen, which have been nothing short of disappointments actually when Shubman has been playing Test cricket at home. Um, Although you can see that effort, and Sahil has tracked him very closely, and how seriously he's taken these disappointments, and how much he's wanting to kind of, how much he's been desperate to kind of come good. It shows. I mean, although it's not really shown the way it should have in terms of performances, because I believe he's got a far bigger appetite than that. But having said that, you're also a team right now, you're also a squad without any much choices, so you
Okay.
rather got to be
Okay.
happy with what you have, especially ahead of a series as important as what's coming up.
Okay, let's since we're talking about choices and we're talking about the series that's coming up, let's take one final comment. I know the squad is there. Gaurav Gupta se ye main comment lunga. Gaurav, you wanted a series decider in Wankhede. I cancelled my plans of coming for the third test match after India went 2-0 down. What can we expect at the Wankhede? Because like I said, 3-0 losing at home, बहुत rare. I remember 2000 में South Africa had come here under Hansi Cronje and 2-0. We lost the two-match series 2-0 under Sachin Tendulkar. उसके बाद से I can't remember a whitewash. मतलब it is very rare. And going to Australia with that, my God, my mind is blown. Tell me that's not going to happen. Come on.
Hopefully not, Chetan. I have a feeling they'll go for a nice batting track, because they'll want their batsmen to get some confidence, yeah, before going to Australia. I mean, you've got all outs for scores of 46 in the first test, 156 in the second test. So, आप कहीं तो confidence. I mean, you scored 462 in the second innings of the first test. You were pretty good there. But your batsmen need confidence right now. And for that, you need a slightly better wicket. You can't have these. Generally, also, यार ये 3-day test matches ना मुझे नहीं पसंद है यार. ये टर्नर्स जबरदस्त तरीके के, और जयशाह तो खुद बोल रहे थे हमें कि मुझे इस तरह के मैच पसंद है जो 4-5 दिन तक जाएं. So then I think we should focus, have a good game of cricket, and I hope that some of India's, I mean, they will be desperate for runs, India's batsmen before they leave for BGT. चाहे wicket जैसा भी हो, थोड़ा flat हो तो भी चलेगा. I think India should rather go for 2-0 rather than a 3-0, and again make an akhada, make a rank turner, and then risk being again bowled out by the Kiwi spinners. 3-0 would be a massive embarrassment, as you said. वो sleepless nights हो जाएंगे फिर BGT में till the first test, because then there again your things in Australia can go downhill pretty quickly. So वो सब
Okay.
देखते हुए, but I have a feeling this will be a better test match in terms of batting for India.
Hopefully, and we hope that they can have some sort of batting confidence under their belt. लेकिन I think a result is very important for India. ये बताना बहुत जरूरी है कि WTC में क्या हो रहा है, because India is now under threat. Do we? I want to request the producer. Do we have the WTC table, please? If we do, please load it. There we go. Yes. So now आप देखो कि इंडिया के पास बचा है कितने 6 test matches to go, and then you need to, and I was looking at the host broadcasters who made this calculation. India needs to win 4 out of their 6 test matches, which means for a third consecutive time आपको बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी जीतनी होगी ऑस्ट्रेलियन सॉइल पर, if you want to make it to the WTC final. और उसका रीजन क्या है? Sri Lanka is going to play in South Africa. Sri Lanka is going to host Australia. New Zealand is going to host England, and then South Africa. I think South Africa, it might be in pole position because South Africa, they have to play Bangladesh, and then they host Sri Lanka, and then they host Pakistan at home. So you have 5 test matches for South Africa. So Sri Lanka, South Africa, New Zealand, England with an outside chance. More than England, I think it's New Zealand with an outside chance because New Zealand ka percentage dekho aap 50% now. India's percentage, if it falls anywhere around 55, so that is going to be a big issue. So you have to win 4 out of your last 6. Imagining कि आप वानखेड़े में जीत जाते हो, then also you need to win another 3 matches out of 5, which means you need to win the BGT trophy once again. And with that, And with that, let's go to now the BGT squad, which has been announced. It was announced on Friday night, and it's a squad on expected lines. First of all, KL Rahul is there, as we mentioned, long rope for him. Rohit Sharma, the captain. The news is that he might not play the first Test match. Let's look at this very interesting bowling lineup. Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, probably their last tour to Australia. You have Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav ruled out for a groin issue. Uh, and then you have Prasidh Krishna, Harshit Rana, and Nitish Reddy. I mean, that's a very inexperienced bowling attack that we are taking. Jasprit Bumrah, of course, very experienced there. Mohammad Siraj, he's already had a tour there. Akash Deep, he's your third choice bowler, third choice pacer. Srini, let's start with you. What have you made of this? First of all, traveling reserves as well. Mukesh Kumar, Navdeep Saini, and Khalil Ahmed. I want opinion from all three of you on this squad. Is this squad capable of winning the BGT? Srini, let's start with you.
Are Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli capable of putting runs on board? I'm not going to go by the whole squad. These two men,
Okay.
are they capable of doing what they are supposed to do? If they are capable of doing what they are supposed to do and put those daddy. Remember, you yourself have said we are going on this tour without a Cheteshwar Pujara. We are going on this tour without the Ajinkya Rahanes of the world, the Cheteshwar Pujaras of the world. You really don't have the experience in terms of people who got to kind of stand there and make themselves be counted. So in scenario like that, obviously Rohit and Virat, there is that extra bit of pressure on them. Uh, can you stand there and put runs on the board? If you're saying it's a very
Okay.
young attack, I'm saying give
Hmm.
them runs on the board to defend. You're
Okay.
not carrying magicians. So when you're carrying a young attack, you got to give them that cushion. So the onus
Okay.
lies on the batters.
Onus lies on Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Definitely, definitely. Virat Kohli averages 54 in 13 tests. हम बात करते हैं, कि Virat Kohli what is the future like? Sahil, we've agreed before also. If this BGT doesn't give results like we are used to, then there'll be a big question mark on Rohit. But also we need to talk about Shubman Gill, because number 3 has been very important in Australia. Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, these guys, these young guys, Sarfaraz, who might start the first Test ahead of KL Rahul. These Rishabh Pant, of course, these young guys have to bring in the big runs as well. They might play in an attacking manner, whatever manner you want to play in. You have to put on those big runs for this young bowling attack, inexperienced bowling attack. Your thoughts?
Rohit, Virat, Rishabh, Yashasvi, they'll win you a one-off game with the bat. If you want to win a 5-test series, you need bowlers who have to pick 20 wickets. Is bowling attack के अंदर Jasprit Bumrah and question mark continues for me. You just don't have a pace attack. Harshit Rana has played 10 first-class games. He has pipped Mukesh Kumar, the workhorse we kept harping upon that we need in Australia. There's no workhorse right now. Akash Deep,
Yeah.
you haven't played him consistently enough. Mohammad Siraj, वो ऐसी केटली हो गई है जो एकदम ठंडा हो चुका है इस टाइम. आप ये बॉलिंग अटैक से 20 विकेट लोगे. नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी, एक महीना पहले हमारा कोच बोलता है कि वी आर ऑब्सेस्ड विद अ फास्ट बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर. यस, यू आर आल्सो ऑब्सेस्ड विद अ फास्ट बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर. दैट इज व्हाई यू फास्ट ट्रैक नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी. फॉर व्हाट जॉय इज ही देयर इन द स्क्वाड? मतलब आप क्या टीम बना
He's
रहे हो
gone
यार?
with India A. He's gone with
Yeah,
India
and
A.
you don't have a Avesh Khan in the squad who has been on the bench, who has been playing first class cricket for the last 7-8 years. Like, why are you going with such an undercooked fast bowling attack? That kind of I fail to. Yes, Harshit Rana took 5 wickets for Delhi against Assam in the ongoing match, scored a half century. All that is fine.
Okay.
Hit the deck.
Okay.
Prasidh Krishna is one off stride away from tearing his ligament again. How fragile
Okay.
has he been? Thank you on bowlers like this. I fail to understand. This is not the pace attack which will give me 20 wickets.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll take comments from our viewers today, a lot of comments, and we'll try and add what we can to that. Let's take comments one by one. Sports fan says very skeptical about Harshit Rana, Nitish Reddy, direct debut in BGT. India A वो लोग खेल रहे हैं, should have handed debut in home to us. Gaurav, your thoughts on this?
I completely agree with that, bro. I think Harshit Rana और नीतीश रेड्डी डेफिनेटली उनको कुछ ना कुछ क्रिकेट यहाँ पर खिलानी चाहिए थी. एंड आई थिंक नीतीश रेड्डी डेफिनेटली, और मैंने पूछा भी मेरे सोर्सेस से कि भाई इतनी जल्दी उनको आप क्यों रश कर रहे हैं फॉर सच ए बिग सीरीज. एंड आई वाज टोल्ड दैट ही कुड बी आवर एक्स फैक्टर. आई मीन कम ऑन यार, आप एक्स फैक्टर सडनली जाके ऑस्ट्रेलिया जैसी जगह आप एक्स फैक्टर डिस्कवर करने की कोशिश करते हो स्लाइटली अगेंस्ट अ स्लाइटली लेसर ओपोनेंट. अब सडनली जाके आप वहां पर, आई एग्री, नीतीश राणा एज साहिल सेड हैज बीन टॉक्ड अबाउट एज अ पोटेंशियली गुड ऑलराउंडर फॉर अ व्हाइल, has started performing in domestic cricket. बट यार अगर आप आईपीएल के बेसिस पे प्लेयर्स लोगे, अगेन सेम लॉजिक, और फिर आप बोलते हो कि नहीं रणजी ट्रॉफी खेलो भाई वरना हम आपको फाइन करेंगे या आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं देंगे, आपको ये करेंगे, मुझे ये चीज समझ में नहीं आती. शार्दुल ठाकुर डिड प्रीटी वेल इन द रणजी ट्रॉफी सेमीफाइनल्स, took wickets, scored runs in the final, is doing well in the ongoing Ranji Trophy match. But I am told that हमने कुछ प्लेयर्स को फेज आउट कर दिया है और उसमें शायद शार्दुल भी हैं अब, क्योंकि वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू गो बैक टू दैट लॉट. यार if you're talking about not going back to certain players, then when will you not go back to the big guns? When how long will the rope will they get? So these are all questions that need to be answered. It's a, I mean, they're punting on somebody like Nitish Reddy purely on the basis of how he's performed for Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL, which I don't entirely agree to. Yeah, I mean, if this is how you're going to promote players to the senior level, there's a question mark against it.
Okay, Kanan B says, how is Harshit, who's yet to debut, selected ahead of Mukesh? Who has been with the team for a while? Kanan, I'll answer that. We were thinking that you might need a workhorse bowler. Yes, he's not a hit the deck bowler, but you need a workhorse bowler in Australia. Kind of disappointed to not have Mukesh Kumar. I feel that maybe might be added at a later stage. Let's also not forget Mohammad Shami, who's not been included in the squad. But let's see if he plays domestic cricket. There's a big gap, big timeline until the third test in Brisbane. क्योंकि आपने फर्स्ट टेस्ट खेलना है, सेकंड टेस्ट के पहले आपको 2-day गेम खेलना है, then there's a second test, and then you go to Brisbane for the third test. You never know, you might see Mohammad Shami playing some matches in Australia. Let's bring in the next comment. Harish says, Srini, you said Rohit and Virat have to put on the big runs, but we also missing somebody like Cheteshwar. Kya Shubman Cheteshwar ka substitute hai? Harish thinks no. What is your thought on this?
Obviously, no. He's answered it. There is no replacement to Cheteshwar.
Okay,
Who can possibly step into his shoes?
Okay. Let's yeah, again, that's a big question mark. Cheteshwar Pujara ke shoes mein kaun step in karega? He's been a rock for India in the BGT in the last 2 tours. That to my mind is the single most pressing issue for India. Shubman Gill, big shoes to fill. Kuldeep again says India, Australia both don't have the batting lineup to score 500 plus. So it'll be fun. Srini, do you agree Australia doesn't have the batting lineup to score 500?
Oh, backyard, they'll be hungry. They'll be hungry like how? They're waiting for us. Yeah. They do have the batting lineup to score 500 plus runs in their own backyard. There is no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. Why are we even doubting that?
Okay.
And if they are going to kind of come at us at full force, they have more than that.
Mind you, this time Australia will not play the same 4 bowlers throughout 5 test matches. इस बार उनके पास अलग-अलग pacers हैं, अलग-अलग spinners हैं. Despite the fact that Cam Green is not available, they will have a full batch of pacers and spinners to attack India. They will not make the same mistake once again. Sahil, this one is for you. Weird prediction: Virat 500 runs BGT, and it is Rohit who's commenting this, which is the ironical bit. Sahil, what do you have to say on that? We all want to see that, don't we? Virat Kohli in his favorite backyard.
I'm not sure anymore. Chetan, I'm not
You're
sure.
not sure
anymore. I'm not sure anymore. What I saw in Pune, something is not right between the ears, yaar. That lack of judgment which has been on display. You're missing a full toss. You're going back to a delivery. You should have easily defended off the front foot. Those are like basic comical errors, yaar. You don't expect them out of Virat. I don't see him scoring runs in Australia now. I don't know why. I'm very dirty. हो सकता है 700 रन मार दे. क्या पता है?
Okay, let's get everybody's opinion on this. Gaurav, do you see Virat scoring 500 plus in Australia?
Yeah, you never know. Great player है. कुछ भी मतलब I would rather play the devil's advocate here. Never know. Great player है. 14-15 में भी उन्होंने किया. 18-19 में भी किया. 2021 first test he looked good before he went home for the birth of his child. So and those wickets suit him. शायद स्पिन वहां पर उतना थ्रेट नहीं होता जितना इंडिया में होता है, तो ये फैक्टर उनके फेवर में काम कर जाए. एंड the wickets are beautiful to bat on. The bounce is good. So you never know, yaar. Matlab, at
Great
the end of
player.
the day, it's a class act, and might want to go
No
out on a
doubt.
high.
No doubt
It
he's
is
a
a
great
kind
player. No doubt. But there are some issues there with his batting. There's no doubt about that as well. Srini, your thoughts? Virat 500 runs in BGT, yes or no?
अगर मैं नहीं बोलूंगा तो क्या बदलने वाला है? कुछ नहीं, उससे अच्छा हाँ ही बोल दूं मैं. कम से कम विशफुल थिंकिंग इज गोइंग टू कीप द सीरीज अलाइव.
Visual thinking. Okay, let's go on. Kaushik says if top order doesn't dent the new Kookaburra by spending time at the crease, middle order will be exposed by Bolan and Hazelwood. One of the top three have to bat 2 sessions, then India has a chance. Sahil, your thoughts on this? Do we have a batter to bat 2 sessions? अगर आप पुणे को देखो तो नहीं है. अगर आप पुणे पुणे का टेस्ट मैच देखो तो नहीं है हमारे पास 2 सेशन बैट करने वाला.
बहुत सारे टेस्ट मैचेस, नॉट जस्ट पूरे.
Sahil,
यशस्वी is not better.
Yashasvi?
यशस्वी can bat 2 days if he wants. बहुत solid
Okay.
temperament है यार उसका. बहुत solid temperament है. He was given the message
Okay.
in पुणे की जाके मार, इसीलिए वो मारा. But वो 2 दिन भी बैटिंग कर सकता है. बहुत टेक्निक बहुत वाटर टाइट है उसका. So it's just that on
Okay.
his day he has to be in the right mindset. He has what it takes to bat even 2 days. Very sound temperament.
Okay. Okay. Nimish says, will Rohit play the first test? And of course, let's also mention Abhimanyu Easwaran. He's in the squad. He's in the India A squad. Ruturaj Gaikwad also in India A. He's not named, of course. That was a weird one. But Gaurav, your thoughts? Will Rohit play the first test? Nothing was mentioned in the press release. Any update on that?
I am hoping that he will, but yeah, as you said, no update. So we don't know whether it is first or second. I think depends on how his personal issue goes about. So the BCCI has left it to him. But if he doesn't play the first test, I'm sort of excited about Abhimanyu Ishwaran's debut. यार वो बहुत मेहनत करके आए हैं फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट में बहुत सारे सैकड़े हंड्रेड्स लगा के आए हैं. Then even for India A, in fact, long back I asked the selector, I think it was the previous selector that कि आप क्यों नहीं सरफराज को लेते हैं, वो इतने रन बना रहे हैं डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट में. उन्होंने बोला यार अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन की क्यों नहीं, मैं समझ गया सरफराज मुंबई से है, देखिए अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन भी बहुत रन बनाते हैं, आप उन्हें क्यों नहीं, उनकी बात क्यों नहीं करते हैं. वो भी इंडिया ए के लिए रन बनाते हैं और डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट में बहुत रन बनाते हैं. तो उनकी भी कोई बात करें, उनको उनको भी नहीं, उनके लिए जगह नहीं निकल रही है. एंड फाइनली उनके लिए जगह निकल रही है. आई एम क्वाइट हैप्पी अबाउट दैट. ऑल्दो आई फील अ बिट सैड फॉर ऋतुराज गायकवाड बिकॉज not in terms of red ball, I think he should have been there in the T20 squad in Australia, and it fails to, I mean, I'm surprised that he's not there, but that's a separate issue. I mean, Ishwaran, I think it's high time that he gets a chance. Unfortunately, उनको वो चांस मिलेगा against the best pace attack in the world arguably, and in tough conditions. But hey, if he comes through, then you have a man for the future. Although I don't think he's too young, but still, you will have somebody who can take on the mantle from Rohit Sharma going forward. And let's hope that
Okay.
he takes that opportunity with both the hands.
Okay. Aditya Agarwal says Gill averages 51 in Australia. We should be more respectful towards him. Srini, thoughts? He averages 51 in Australia. Forget the respectful bit.
Let's
We
be
were just analyzing. Yeah.
let's be fair to Gill. I mean, he was handed, baptism by fire wala concept tha when he was handed his debut in Australia. So and he stood out. He came out in good colors. So from that Gill is what we want back. That Gill is what we want once again. If we get that Gill, nobody's complaining. रिस्पेक्ट को बाजू रखो यार, रन बनाओ जाके.
Yeah, we were analyzing. It's not about disrespect. It's about asking the question or
I
as
mean,
analysts.
ये बहुत ज्यादा मैं फैंडम देखता हूँ. मैं show some respect.
No, forget that. But let's talk about the fact that he averages 51 in Australia, which is brilliant, of course. And I think he did brilliantly in what were tough conditions. But this is going to be another baptism by fire. क्योंकि आप opening कर रहे हो number 3 पे. I think number 3 requires a very, very different, there's a different requirement at number 3 in Test cricket. Of course, he opens the innings. He's opened the innings there, so he knows. One thing I'll say, and I want others' opinion on this, is the bounce in Australia. That might just favor a few of the Indian batters, if we can talk about. I mean, all of them like to play on the up. All of them like to play their shots. That's something that obviously we saw in Pune as well. कि चाहे ball घूम रही है, फिर भी they wanted to play their shots. How much of that is going to help the Indian batters, Srini and Will?
You just 5 minutes back you asked me this question: who in this Indian team has the ability to stand there for 2 days?
Okay.
So
No, but I'm talking about bounce helping them scoring big runs. We said कि You are the one who said wishful thinking for Virat, 500 plus runs. So that bounce should help, no?
No, I'm going to take one step, Mac, and I'm going to say, forget bounce in the wicket, forget, what kind. Uh, we just need to go and stand there. We are nobody, ये बहुत सारा ये जो concept आता है, मैं भी सुनता हूँ, बास्बॉल तो एक तरीके का प्लेयर्स पे या टीम्स पे क्या प्रेशर आ चुका है कि आपको एक पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड ऑफ क्रिकेट खेलना है, आपको एक पर्टिकुलर तरीके से नजर आना है क्रिकेट खेलते हुए, आपको वहां खड़े रहना है। ये है तो टेस्ट क्रिकेट ही ना, कुछ नहीं बदला है, वही गेम है, आपको वहां खड़े रहना है, हमसे खड़ा नहीं रहा जाता। आप एक सेशन वहां खड़े तो रहो यार, आप बॉल को खेलो मत खेलो, जाने दो बॉल को, मतलब बॉलर को थकने दो, फील्डर को थकने दो, क्या हुआ? Whatever happened to the good old days of just standing for one full day, and even if you do not score more than 270 280 runs per day, it's okay, just stand there. And that is what is required of this Indian team. Do you have what it takes to actually stand there and not lose your way and come back? That's it. Stop playing deliveries that you cannot, don't need to play. Stop meddling with deliveries that are not within the, kind of within your fee. Stop, kind of, especially the guys like Virat Kohli. आप खड़े रहो वहां जाके, आपको किसी को कुछ प्रूव नहीं करना है, आप विराट कोहली हो, आप खड़े रहो वहां पे, आप आधा सेशन खड़े रहो. Whatever happened to the good old days of watching a Rahul Dravid take 100 120 balls to score 20 runs, 25 runs, 30 runs? That is what is required. Just go out
Okay.
there, get a feel of so the basics of test cricket. What is rocket science? आजकल सब कुछ बदल गया है. Everybody wants to play everything and come back a hero, a gladiator.
Okay, Divankya Jyoti Das, thanks for your comment. They say we have issues with our batting, but they don't have a second opener, which is true, which is very true. Australia के पास second opener नहीं है. Khwaja against India, average is 22. Recent form is not good. Green is injured. We just need to pick heads wicket. Marnus Labuschagne को आप भूल गए, but कोई बात नहीं. Sahil, your thoughts? They have issues. There's no doubt they have issues, but Australia in their backyard with a decent start, Kookaburra, and I think the biggest factor we are forgetting, this bowling attack. हमने बात की है कि इंडिया का bowling attack, आप अगर बुमराह को साइड में रख दो 1 मिनट के लिए, it's a bit of a light attack. So given all these situations, Australia have a weak batting lineup. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree to that. Yeah. I think Khwaja during that last Border Gavaskar Trophy in India, way he batted, I think I haven't seen an away opener batting so good against Indian spinners. Usman Khwaja looked phenomenal against India in that series. जो उसने वो 100 मारा अहमदाबाद में. Ashwin picked a 5-wicket haul if I'm not wrong. Ashwin bowled one of the better spells of his career on a Pata track, and Usman Khwaja was brilliant the way he batted there. यार क्या patience, क्या temperament. तो मतलब ये सारी बातें ख्वाजा तो मतलब मेरे को लग रहा है is going to be one of the bigger thorns in the flesh यार. वो उसको अगर बुमराह ने आउट कर दिया, वरना कुक्काबुर्रा से तो हमारा ना वॉशी चलेगा ना ऐश चलेगा. तो वो ऑफ स्पिनर वाला लॉजिक भी लेफ्टी से हटा दे. So
no, I still think Ashwin will be very important to hold one end up. I think he's going to be India's most important bowler.
Only if you play him. Only if you play him, Chetan. Only if you play him.
Only if you play him. That's true. That's true. We might be discussing pre-match day कि अश्विन को नहीं खिलाया जा रहा है, and I'll be banging my head on this wall behind me. Let's close this this topic because we have 2 more topics to talk about. Panel prediction for the BJT. Rohit is asking. Let's start with Srini. Panel prediction. Very very early, but predict करने में क्या जाता है? Early prediction.
I'm saying we might not be very lucky this time, so 3-2.
3-2. Sahil?
4-1. We are losing 4-1. We are only winning the day-night test.
Oh, we're winning the day-night test. Okay.
That's because Bumrah. That's because Bumrah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to comment on that. Gaurav?
3-1 in India's favor. चलो मैं थोड़ा optimistic हो जाता हूँ.
ये रविशंकर.
And we qualify for.
This is Ravishankar Kumar in disguise. Okay.
ये हारेंगे नहीं तो टीम बदलेगा नहीं. इनका हारना बहुत जरूरी है. ये जीतते रहे तो 10 साल और खेलेंगे.
I don't know the scoreline. I don't know the scoreline, but
Yeah, luckily, even Australia is going through a bit of a rebuild. I mean, they could because उनके भी players younger नहीं है. Pat Cummins, Stark,
Okay.
they're also at the Nathan Lyon himself. So maybe let's hope on that they also have a perform like an aging side.
Ravi Shankar Kumar in disguise, and the real Ravi Shankar Kumar says, "Don't worry, we are going to beat 3-1. We beat them 3-1 in Australia." Uh, I'm not sure what score line. I can't think past 3-1 or 4-1 depending on rain. I don't think India is going to win the series, but fingers crossed. We need to qualify for the WTC final. Let's see what's happening. Quickly, let's put up the India tour of South Africa. That squad. It's been interesting over there. Mayank Yadav is not going there. We don't have Riyan Parag going there. Suryakumar leads the side. Pretty much expected. You have Vijay Kumar Vyashak there. You have Yash Dayal there. Ramandeep Singh, amazing player, amazing fielder, military medium bowler, can hit big. This is another of those Gautam Gambhir picks probably for the future. Quickly, your thoughts one by one. Srini, then Sahil, and then Gaurav.
You know, so Gaurav has already mentioned it. When I look at that squad, the first name that immediately cuts out is Ruturaj Gaikwad. I mean, I feel very sad for the guy. I hope he
Okay.
finds his place soon. That said, not much importance for, as I've said this when we were playing these recent T20 internationals at home. Use these T20 internationals only to figure out the combinations and give everybody an opportunity and try and see who ticks what boxes. Other than that, I'm not reading much into T20 internationals.
Okay.
They don't really
Okay.
make any sense. It's like, playing football friendlies. Watch it for the entertainment that it provides. Other than that, there's no real value of.
Okay. Entertainment. Sahil, quickly thoughts.
पॉइंटलेस सीरीज, पॉइंटलेस स्क्वाड, पॉइंटलेस एक्सरसाइज. मतलब ये क्या अरेंजमेंट है टेस्ट सीरीज के बीच में. एंड रमनदीप सिंह, there is one Ramandeep Singh in every state side in the country. Yaar. He's only playing for India because he played for KKR, and India's coach has just come from the KKR setup. So don't be surprised if you see more and more players
Someday.
from LSG. And I'm not saying Gambhir यहाँ पे कुछ bias कर रहा है or he has something else at play. It's just that he has seen them from close quarters. He probably has
Yeah.
a mental insight into them better than other players in the circuit right now. Ramandeep जिगरे वाला player है, gun fielder, छक्के लंबे मारता है, पर bowling के ऊपर इतना carried away मत हो यार. वो नॉर्मल है.
Okay.
सिर्फ फील्डर
Okay.
गन है, फिनिशर अच्छा है. एंड जीजी वांटेड द रियल जीजी, गौतम गंभीर वांटेड टू give Ramandeep a role like Surya Kumar Yadav in the KKR setup, जो सूर्या KKR के लिए एंड में करता था, आके 5-10 बॉल पे 20-22 रन बनाना. So he aced that role last season to perfection. Brilliant fielder, happy for him.
Okay.
But let's not get carried away with the squad,
Okay.
because again, जितेश शर्मा आपको कितना खेलते हुए दिखेंगे हमें भी पता है यार. तो ये
Yeah,
pointless
I mean,
exercise.
Sanju Samson with that 100, he has to open. He will open. Abhishek Sharma, he will open as well. Gigi, your thoughts on this squad?
Well, Ramandeep Singh as I mean, bit of a sort of unknown pick, but done well in the limited chances that he's got for KKR. I'm excited about Vijay Vishak also. The young fast
Yeah.
bowler from Karnataka did well for RCB. I think in a few games last season, looked good, and looked good in the domestic cricket also that I saw of him.
Yeah.
So looks an exciting prospect. Other than that, I think the squad sort of picks itself out. I think pretty good names. Some pretty good names there. I wish Hardik Pandya was playing red ball cricket in BGT rather than being here. But then I think he knows his body the best, and he's not cut out for Test cricket at the moment. Other than that, I think it looks an exciting squad in terms of T20s. I think वहाँ हमारी ज़्यादा issues नहीं है. We've now finally got a bunch of players who can play with freedom, and this is obviously the post Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli era. That hopefully next year we'll see. By this time we'll see in red ball cricket as well. So exciting times with this team, and let's hope that they put it past South Africa. South Africa at home, even in T20s, is not easy meet. They are also pretty difficult to beat. So I think it will be good exposure for these guys, because they are also, this team is preparing for the 2026 World Cup, which will be in India and
Yeah.
Sri Lanka. So उसके लिए आपको कुछ players try करने हैं, and I'm sure Gauti knows that some of the guys that he's punting on, he knows that what role they can perform in this team. And obviously Varun Chakravarti, उनका comeback बहुत exciting है. So
Okay.
another exciting player there.
Okay, okay. And one final news, of course, that was the big IPL news over the weekend. And, we don't have too much time left, so we're not going to have a discussion on that. But the big news is that MS Dhoni has said yes to playing IPL 2025. In fact, his comments are very interesting. अगर मैं highlight कर सकूं, not just IPL 2025. He said ki I want to play like, we are kids again. I want to enjoy whatever cricket is left. I'm working hard on my fitness to enjoy 2 months of IPL. Goes to show that he might play a few more years, not just IPL 2025. We might see him around the CSK squad a lot. Why I took this news is because I wanted to tell you guys from tomorrow onwards until 31st, we're going to have IPL specials every day. We have a break until the next test match, which is starting on Friday. So we're going to be talking only about IPL for the next couple of days. 31st October, the deadline is coming quickly. And yeah, we'll be talking whatever news is out there. Jo bhi news hoga sara din ka IPL related, we're going to be talking about that. So it's going to be IPL specials from tomorrow onwards on this channel, TOI Sports Beyond the Boundary. Thank you so much, guys. K. Srinivas Rao, Sahil Malhotra, and Gaurav Gupta joining us here. Hope to see you guys once again. And thanks to all our viewers. 6:30 tomorrow. Once again, IPL special Beyond the Boundary. See you guys then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.